What is up, YouTube? KM888 here, and I'm back once again with another match. This is the final round of the tournament I'm in to win a IP Masquerena. Now, because it's the final, I either way get a card, because second place is also granted a prize, being the Prismatic Evil Eye card. I'm sure there is quite a significant price change in between those two cards, but I'm still gonna try and do my best here. Um, Small spoiler ahead, it is Sky Striker Orcust once again. And yeah, we're gonna see how the duel is gonna go. Right after the match, I'm going to show the deck profile again. I've already made one small change uh, about the build, in contrary to what I was playing here, but I'll explain it later on. So yeah. For the match itself, so I'm gonna press play, and you're gonna see that the opponent is gonna win the rock paper scissors. So they are going to start it off, and let's go. So for the opening hands, we're going to see that the opponent actually kind of bricked. They didn't open any starters, and they opened up 3 negates in Impermanence, Widow Anchor, and Shark Cannon, along with a 4th negate in Ash Blossom. So at the very least, he didn't. Well, he still has a lot of cards to go with interruptions. For our own hand, we have Abductor, Servant, the Mighty Master, Chronograph, and Spellbook of Secrets. This is an actual really good hand if there were no hand traps or anything else present. So we're gonna see how it is going to turn out. My opponent is just going to set 3 and gonna keep the Ash Blossom, of course. So kind of bricked, and we're gonna draw the Garuda. Now, the thing that I've learned is try and at least clear the trap cards in the scales, because those are the places where they put their impermanence, and by clearing at least one of them, you're going to get value off of your servant. So right here, I'm going to do just that, and I go Garuda, and I pop one of the scales. It does happen to be the impermanence. That doesn't really matter one bit. I mean, if the impermanence was in the other scale, it didn't really matter. The important thing is that he can't negate the scale that I'm going to put up in my right Pendulum zone right now. So this is also the place where I'm going to put up the servant as soon as I can. Now at this point I'm gonna go Chronograph effect, and I'm going to special summon it alongside the Endymion. Now the reason that I do this instead of scaling the Chronograph is because, well, it's actually pretty simple. If it were that he had another impermanence in the other side, then he can just negate the Chronograph afterwards somewhere, and it would be stuck. I want to get my Endymion on the board, try to get some counters on the field, just to negate some other spells and traps. Um, if I had if I had a Jackal King in my hand instead of the Endymion, might have been better to special summon that, but that's just how it plays out, right? So I'm gonna go with Servant, and in hindsight, it probably would have been better to keep the Chronograph, but that's just something that I can't control. He's gonna go Ash Blossom on the Secrets, and I only get one counter, so it isn't the best opening hand right now anymore. I actually put my 2 high skills on the board, so I don't have anything to Pendulum. But yeah, this is how it plays out. So I'm gonna normal summon the Abductor. I made like 1 or 2 wrong choices with the Chronograph, I feel. I'm gonna go for the battle phase first. I don't want my Electromite to be hit by anything else. And I'm just gonna go Abductor Chronograph Endymion, and he's ending on 1500 life. I'm gonna make Electromite right here because I didn't feel that that it would be threatened in main phase 2. So as you can see, I can just send a Jackal King to my extra deck, and I'm going to target the Endymion because at this point I can just Pendulum summon it out again, and I still have my servant. So yeah, as you can see, I'm getting a Chronograph. I'm gonna scale it up, getting a second counter, and right here I'm thinking, okay, if I go Electromite and pop the if I go and pop my Chronograph, I get a Time Gazer out, and then if I draw something good, I can scale it up, and then my servant has a third counter to go from there. But that's not really how it's going to turn out. So I'm going to Pendulum Jackal King, I'm going to Pendulum the Endymion, and I'm getting the Time Gazer. I'm going to draw, and it's a Shark Cannon, so I can't use that at all. It's sad. Any scale or any usable spell would have given me the third counter. But right here, this is how the board's going to be. Um, I'm gonna make an Appaloosa. I have the Endymion for a spell Trap Negate, so at the very least, that's something. And he draws a Harp Horror, but he sees that he has no viable plays left. He doesn't have 3 spells in his grave for the Shark Cannon to special summon something, so he's gonna reveal a Widow Anchor. Just so I think he's playing Sky Strikers, and then he's going to scoop it up. So that's game one. I'm actually ahead. I'm like getting stoked, nervous, everything you want. So right here we're gonna go and start game two. So we're going to look at the opening hands, and we're going to see that he actually opened a lot better. He has Solemn Strike. After the match, he told me that he sided it for going first. That's something that I do as well. But instead of Solemn Strike, I'm side decking Solemn Judgment because I feel that Judgment has more value against things like Dark Rule No More and anything along those lines. But his hand is like way better. He has the Armageddon Knight. He has double return, but he can only use one, but it's still really good. He has the Ash Blossom. He has a strike. That's definitely a lot of negates. And on top of that, he's not going to make a wrong decision, and he's actually going to go for the orchestrated return, the trap, orchestrated. What's it called? The counter trap to negate anything. So yeah, he has a lot of negates on board. On the other hand, my opening hand doesn't contain a low scale, so I'm already seeing the writing on the wall right here. But I'm still gonna do my best. I don't know what my 6th card is going to bring me, and we're just gonna go from there. So he's gonna do his play, and as you see, it's just a standard play. He's going to draw 2, and he even draws a Cosmic Cyclone on top of that. So he has 3 back row. He has a Galatea. I know one of them is the Crescendo. That's the name. So I can use my Jabbing Wave, at least bait this out, and I drew into System Down. So System Down is going to banish everything that he has. He's going to banish the Harp Horror, the Galatea. Everything is going to be gone, and this is actually going to be good. So, but he still has both the Solemn Strike and a Cosmic Cyclone, and that's actually terrible. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna go with the Time Gazer. I was first thinking of maybe Tribute Summoning over the Time Gazer for the Jackal King, but then I soon realized I didn't have any. I still didn't have any low scales, and on top of that, I also didn't have any normal summons, so I couldn't go into Electromite with Time Gazer and the normal summon. So yeah, I was kind of stuck in this, and I thought, okay, let's just go and Pendulum 2. And this is where Solemn Strike is gonna come in really hard. Right now, I'm thinking, okay, I can't let the Galatea stay on the field. I can't let the Ngirsu come out. If he doesn't have any starters, at the very least, he won't make a turn. So I'm gonna go and use System Down. And this is going to remove the cards on his field, and I can attack with the Time Gazer at the very least. Now, this is actually a terrible setup. If he has any starters, he's going to definitely take control of the game in this turn, and he draws the Babel, so that's even worse for me. He has the Mathematician, he still has an Ash Blossom. Yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward. The writing is on the wall, and I'm definitely going to lose my game 2. Not in this turn, however, so I'm not really sure why he stopped there. It was like, okay, I can't Oral Sword OTK anyways. But like, I don't know if he couldn't. This is actually a really good hand to do so, and maybe he misplayed because of that, but I'm not really sure. For turn, I draw System Down, and well, he has this setup, so he's just gonna make a Nightmare Unicorn and bounce away my Dragon Pit, and then I have nothing left on the field. He has a full hand. If he has any normal summon, bar the Unicorn, with 700 or more attack, it's game. And that's what's going to happen. So he still has Dark Refer in his hand, you can see that. And yeah, he's just gonna normal summon, attack for game. We're gonna go into game 3, and I get to start. Now, just as before, I'm gonna go over the opening hands, and I'm gonna explain my thought process. So, alright. His opening hand is actually not too bad, but he doesn't have a starter. He does have Return and Nightmares, and he has his normal draw, so that's at least 3 draws he's going to get. I know Orcust tends to side Nibiru. So I see my hand, I have the Mastery, I have the Engage. I'm thinking, okay, I can definitely go for a Servant effect before I Pendulum Summon anything out, be safe from Nibiru, go from there. I also know he is main decking Impermanence because I've seen that. So it's either a toss-up between the Impermanence or the Nibiru for me. And I'm thinking, okay, Nibiru is definitely the worst out of the two. So I'm going to go for the Jackal King during my play. Hope he doesn't have the Impermanence. And then I can just make my full board. I have Solemn Judgment. I'm definitely going to stop his plays and then I can go for game. But it doesn't turn out that way because he does have the Impermanence and he doesn't have Nibiru. So what ends up happening right here is you're going to see I'm going to go Servant, I'm going to Drones off the Engage, Chronograph, get a third counter, and I'm going to go Chronograph effect already because I definitely want to protect my Servant from a possible Ghost Ogre. And he's going to, and I'm going to put up the Jackal King here. Now, just look with me. If I had put up the Endymion instead, this Impermanence would have been dead. The Widow Anchor would have been dead. Called by the Grave, still a dead card. He'd only have the Nightmare and the Return as a play. I made a wrong choice. I should have made the Endymion right here. And as you're going to see, I'm going to go into Electromite and it's going to get Impermanenced. So right here I don't have any more plays. I don't have a low scale. I'm kind of stuck. So I'm going to go Kagari. I'm going to get the Engage back. And the thing I'm thinking of right now is, okay, I can go into Appaloosa for 4. With the Engage, I can add Shark Cannon or Widow Anchor, whatever of the two that I want. And then with the Solemn Judgment, I still have 5 negates because I'd have Appaloosa for 3, the Judgment, and the Shark Cannon. So that is exactly what's going to happen, and I'm going to end up on 5 negates. So this is exactly the field we're building. He's gonna draw Foolish Burial, and as you see, like, he has Return with the Nightmare, he has Foolish Burial for anything. This is problematic. His Widow Anchor can already shut down the Appaloosa, I won't have any negates, and I'm here thinking with the Solemn Judgment, okay, what am I going to stop? And he's, like, at the moment where he uses the Orchestrated Return, I'm like this, I know Foolish Burial can be stopped by Appaloosa, so I'm going to let that through. He's gonna go Orchestrated Return, dump the Orcust Nightmare. And I'm thinking, okay, he only has 2 cards left in his hand. I'm going to negate this with Solemn Judgment because else he has 4 cards. So I'm hitting that, Solemn Judgment. And I'm thinking, okay, I should be pretty safe. I have Appaloosa, I have a Widow Anchor, which I can steal his monsters with. So, and on top of 2 cards, I should definitely be able to win this if I negate the Orchestrated Return. And that's actually well, it's not a misplay of me because it's definitely the right line of plays, but he just happens to have the perfect card in his hand with the Widow Anchor, because like an Engage or a Widow Anchor is actually terrible. And I see the Call by the Grave, I'm like, okay, the only reason you're activating is to have 3 spells in your graveyard, and this is gonna be bad for me because I know he's going to have the Widow Anchor, and there goes the Appaloosa, and the only line of defense that I have is my own Widow Anchor, and well, just to be honest, like, the Appaloosa is negated now, so the only thing I can do is watch, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He has Galatea, and I'm thinking, okay, that's 1800, so I definitely have to negate the Galatea right now, because else he's going to get the return, and I can't do any more plays. The reason that I took 400 from the Appaloosa is because the Nightmare, Orcust Nightmare gave 400 attack points to the Appaloosa, because else it had 0, it wouldn't matter. But yeah, this isn't going to be game. I have 100 left. I don't know why he just didn't slap a Dingirsu on top of here. Well, he knew I had a Widow Anchor, so that's at least a thing. So yeah. He's gonna try and go Dingirsu. I have to Widow Anchor it now. And yeah, he's just gonna go Galatea right here. He's going to use the effect. And yeah, that's definitely going to be game. So it didn't have the crescendo, so it didn't come. It still came to my draw, and you're going to see that I'm going to draw once again. Like it's just a dead draw. Lure of Darkness. I have to draw into a dark and a good card, and I just draw into Mastery and Desires. So this is GG. I lost this one. I was kind of sad because of it, because I definitely could have won if I just went with the Endymion instead of the Jackal King. So yeah, a couple of plays went wrong for me, but at the very least, I did make a good effort. The magicians were never bad. I mean, I saw Dragon Pit Magician, and it served as my high scale, so that's definitely what it was supposed to do. I just didn't have another low scale, so yeah. Um, so yeah, going into the deck profile. At the moment, I just cut down on one Endymion because I felt I was drawing more high scales than low scales, and it was definitely a valid opinion that I had, because I was playing more high scales than low scales. Now I'm running the exact same amount in a 42 card deck. Um, a lot of people are telling me to cut the magician lineup, so these four magicians, along with the two pendulum calls, that would be six cuts, and then I'd have to get back four other cards to make it a 40 card deck. That's definitely a thing that I could do, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna. Because I have to add in four other cards, and to be honest, I don't really know what to add that wouldn't make everything a brick. So, and at the very least, like Pendulum Call with my magicians provide high scales and low scales at any time that I want. So yeah, like the harmonizing play is also the most viable way to go into Meteor Burst, Analyze Vortex. So that's like your most important negate that you have. I'm not really sure to cut that. I was thinking about running a little Odd Eyes engine, because what's it called? You have the Odd Eyes Fusion, and you can search it off of Iris. So I don't think it's over here in this. So if I go Iris, Sky Iris, uh, that's the name. Like you can search Odd Eyes cards by destroying another card, but it's technically a -1. So yeah, there's always that. Um, but my opponents can't target magicians or allies in my pendulum zone, so they can't Cosmic Cyclone. But if I'm going to remove these, like that's all not viable at the very least. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to cut them. I don't think so. I think that the build is good as it is. But yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you guys liked it, and at the very least, I got second place. The Prismatic Evil Eye, it's this card, the Gorgon Empress of the Evil Eye. Still a good-looking card, but it needs Evil Eye monsters, so yeah, you don't really care. So yeah, that was it. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao!